Welcome back, one and all, to another episode of Toilet Wine, Spooky Edition. It's the spookiest time of year, and it's the spookiest time for you and I. This week, we're talking about the scariest, creepiest things you can think about outside of legal problems with your ex-wife. It's Toilet Wine with Dom and Joe. Dom, tell them what they're in for.
Well, welcome back to another Toilet Wine. As you know, and if you don't know, welcome to the show. We do Toilet Wine when Dylan isn't around. And usually there's some fun, whimsical, oh, he can't do it because he's drinking through Worcester or whatever.
Yeah, all the good
I'm
stuff.
actually a little worried this time because it's been 2 weeks since I've last heard from him.
Yeah, and he did say he'd be on the podcast today, so I'm also concerned.
Yeah. The last thing I heard from him was that, he loves his Facebook Marketplace. He loves buying weird vehicles. That he was going down to Florida to buy a replica of the Jeepers Creepers truck.
Uh-oh.
That
does sound like something he would
2
definitely
weeks.
do.
I'm starting to think it's the real creeper truck. I think he's it's a new age. He's on Facebook Marketplace trying to get these horror nerds to come buy his truck, and that's how he's luring them in these years.
He's casting an even larger net to dumbasses like
and
Dylan.
As we all know who've seen the movie, he comes every 23 years. The movie came out in 2001. It's time. So the creeper is back, and he's currently eating Dylan Reed, and that's why Dylan's not here.
Oh my god. And he doesn't even drive a Jeep. He drives a school. Wow, I really hope Dylan's okay. He's usually a pretty resourceful guy, but he does fall for scams a lot because he likes to believe in things that are fucking stupid.
Yeah, including life after love.
Yeah, well, I believe in that too, because I'm never gonna die. The Monster Mash, play the Monster Mash. It is a Monster Mash. The Monster Mash, because it's a graveyard smash. You're looking at what I look like after I'm dead. Skeleton boy. Ew.
Now, remind me if I'm wrong. That song, the Monster Mash, that's by Leo Carpazzi, isn't it?
Oh no, you're thinking of the Monster Fuck, the alternative.
The original song. Yeah, I forgot. The Monster Mash was stolen from him by Bobby Boris Pickett.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then there's also the Monster Fuck Part 2 where
Spooky Orgy
scare line is spooky. Yeah, so there's a lot of versions of it, but the original Monster Mash was not by Leo Carpazzi, but it was jacked up by the other guy. So
Monster Fuck Parts 1 through 8 are all fantastic songs.
Yeah, so we'll probably listen to all those on this podcast intermittently.
We're gonna go watch all those, and we'll be right back.
We'll play them for you every commercial break. It won't get tedious at all. Promise me.
No,
that's a good strategy. We haven't thought of before. Just play a more popular, funny podcast in our podcast as commercials. All right, I don't have enough of the skeleton. Oh, I can't breathe.
Oh my God, you're still alive!
It's me within the skeleton.
Oh, Joe Skeleton, you scared
I can finally breathe.
Out of me.
Wow, this will be good. I'll probably wear this in the winter to shovel snow. It's so warm.
Your neighbors will fucking love that. It's like, there's that fucking skeleton boy again.
There's the skeleton boy again. But this time he's wearing a costume.
Oh
my God. Dom, we're not here to talk about the Monster Fuck or the Monster Mash or Dylan getting jeeped and creeped possibly down below the Mason-Dixon line. What are we here to talk about today?
We are here to talk about swamp monsters.
Swamp Thing.
That's right. There's more than one.
Make my heart sing. There's a lot of swamp monsters. Just think about it, folks. If you don't have to think about it, that's fine. We'll just tell you right now.
Yeah. I mean, I remember about 3 hours ago when I told my dad, no, I can't help you do that. I have to leave and go do my very successful podcast.
Excuse me, I can't help you. I have a lot of things to do with the swamp.
And he said, oh, what are you talking about? I said, we're talking about swamp monsters. He immediately goes, like Swamp Thing? I'm like, yep.
Of course.
And he goes, this one? I go, yep. He goes, there's a lady swamp monster. I was like, there's a bunch of them. He's like, she got knocked up. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, she, you probably got to go. I was like, yeah, I'll look into it. And I did not.
Well, you should have.
But that's
the only monster I am is the one who gets knocked down, not gets knocked up, and I get up again because you're never going to keep me down. More of a tub thumping type of swamp monster.
Oh yeah, so there are many different kinds of swamp monsters. Let's just start off with what is a swamp monster? I'm glad you asked, Joe. I got the answer for you right here.
I'm so glad that I asked.
A swamp monster, first of all, has many different names. It could be a swamp monster or a swamp creature, a swamp man, or my personal favorite, a muck monster. That's what happens when you run amok. Too much, you're a real run amok monster.
More of a mukbang situation.
Don't mind if you do.
That'll get our YouTube numbers up. Hashtag this is a mukbang.
We're doing pretty good. We didn't talk about our dicks in the first 5 minutes because we're past 5 minutes now, so we can get away with it.
You just invoked Macbeth right now because you talked about dicks.
I waited 5 minutes and 18 seconds, provided he doesn't cut anything. That's how long it took to say
it. It all stays in.
So swamp monsters, there's no fancy explanation for them. They're creatures that live in swamps or swamp-like areas. That's pretty much the definition. Anymore,
because everything I want to say is all the things I picked. Creatures from the swamp.
Yes.
Yes,
so I have a little bit more of a description of swamp monsters. Then Joe, why don't you give us your first monster on the list?
I would love to.
So a lot of times swamp monsters, they resemble, they're not just like aquatic creatures, but they can also be plants that came to life in like a animal or human form, or it can even be a type of moss that's sentient.
Sure. I think of swamp monsters being like part of the swamp. They're not just like a fish that could be in any lake or whatever. It's like more like they inhabit the swamp itself. Like
they don't breathe water. They're like frogs.
They're like amphibians. Yeah. They're almost an embodiment of the swamp, but we'll get into that later.
And they're all like pretty much all like they're menacing, they're evil, they want to hurt you in some way, either physically or trick you into something. They're friggin' monsters, for crying out loud.
Yeah, man. Frig that.
And they're real.
They are real. We have real examples of real swamp.
So Joe, why don't you tell us about your first swamp monster?
So glad you asked. The first one on my docket here today, as far as swamp monsters go, which thank you so much for broadly defining what they are, is of course Groot slang. You heard me right?
Oh yeah.
Groot slang, he hails or she hails or it hails.
They, them.
From South Africa. It's an elephant snake
the white
hybrid.
Section.
I mean, already the description elephant snake hybrid, I'm terrified. In the swamp, terrifying.
Yeah.
We'll put a picture up of people's artist depictions of Groot slang, and it actually is scarier than what my mind could have conjured up.
Yeah, when I first heard about Groot, I was like, elephant snake? How does that even work?
How does that even work? Horrifying.
It's like terrifying.
Yeah, all the scariest parts of elephants and snakes. It's an elephant snake hybrid, which in Afrikaans, which is one of the more pervasive languages in South Africa, especially before the apartheid. Keep moving on. Afrikaans, Groot slang means big snake. So, I am Groot really just means I am big in Afrikaans. So you can take that and do it.
I am Diesel.
Also, Groot slang, I'm Groot.
He only speaks Groot slang.
I'm going to speak Groot slang from here on. Well, as far as Groot slang goes, this grotesque beast, some describe it as having diamonds for eyes and 40 to 50 feet in length. Now, this is a cryptid. This is not just a story. This is more of like they still believe it exists, much like other cryptids we talked about in the past. Groot slang is said to dwell in a cave near the Orange River, known as the Bottomless Pit, or also known as the Wonder Hole.
Oh, so both sayings are named after you?
You pick what you want to call it based on what you're looking to get out. Native folklore describes unwilling explorers entering the cave to retrieve, quote-unquote, stones that sparkled like fire. Kind of like one of those old, mythos where it's like, hey, be wary of what, be careful what you wish for kind of thing, like Hansel and Gretel or like, Groot slang, where you think you're going to get a bunch of diamonds, but actually, it's a giant
fucking elephant tusk up.
It's a bottomless wonder hole full of an elephant snake is going to fucking eat you. And no one has ever been known to come back from that cave. So once you enter the lair of Groot slang, you do not return, and only greed will bring you there, and greed won't get you out. That's the legend of Groot slang, and I'm about to root this shit up because that guy seems awesome and horrifying. A bottomless pit next to a river in South Africa that shows you, almost like a siren song, shows you sparkly diamonds only to draw you into your own demise. I don't even know how it eats you. Grabs you by the trunk, face first, tusk in your eyes,
Does it swallow you whole, or does it munch on you like an elephant? I don't want to learn the answer.
Yeah, I don't
I hope it
know.
munches on me because I think one elephant squeeze to your skull might be good night nurse there. But if it
Yeah, I
swallows
would
you,
think so.
holy shit,
That's a
that'd be
while for you to because
be
it'll take, if it's like any other snake, it'll take hours to get you in. Where you're
right.
alive the entire time.
Well, you will most likely suffocate first, but it's not going to be pleasant the whole time as its
Yeah.
bile and stomach acids envelop your entire being. And the nature of the horrific demise you're headed towards slowly seeps in, much like Groot slaying slowly digests you over the course of 1,000 years.
I mean, and you're also in a swamp to make matters worse.
Yeah, so it's all like you're wet.
It's a lot of bugs.
You have swamp ass.
You actually. It takes
the bugs.
so long.
I hadn't even thought of the bugs.
It takes so long for Groot slang to swallow you that you actually die of malaria before you actually get all the way inside.
The true horror, real diseases. But until it's not this episode, so I don't have to play factual, responsible Joe. I can just play. Hell yeah! That's my first one. It's Groot slang.
All right. Well, I'm going to start things off here with something that description-wise is pretty familiar to this podcast. This is the Honey Island Swamp Monster, or also known as the Cajun Sasquatch. Or I'll do my best.
Cajun.
I'll do my best example of Cajun French here. Le Bête Noire. That's mostly just French, not Cajun.
I don't know. The growl at the end kind of did seem a little Cajun.
But yeah, he's basically Bigfoot of the swamp.
Interesting.
Yeah. Ape-like humanoid cryptid found around the Honey Island Swamp in St. Tammany Parish, Louisiana. What a weird name for a town.
Yeah, that's like that old Christian shit where like they used to be parishes would like divide like the state governments and stuff like that. Like, oh, I'm from this parish. I'm the mayor of the parish, which is just a priest.
Yeah.
But it's weird. Really solidifying how much churches used to have way more power.
Way too much power.
Still do, but not as much.
So, commonly described, large bipedal humanoid, about 7 feet tall, gray hair, yellowish reddish eyes, and a putrid smell. Some even say he's like a mix between a Wookiee and the Thing.
Oh, the Thing. The Thing famously could transform into any shape, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah, but what would you get?
I'm kind of a mix between me and the Thing. Just two versions of me. But one of them has no belly button, Kyle XY style. That's how you know
that he's actually.
You forgot to copy the
Superman.
belly button. Yeah.
Wait,
does Superman have a belly button either?
I thought that was the whole thing because Kyle XY is basically Superman, isn't he? He's supposed to be from Krypton or something. Is that the whole thing? I think
that Kyle XY is way more about. No, you think of Smallville. Kyle XY
I'm
is way
thinking
more
of Smallville.
about.
You're right.
Yeah. I could see Kryptonians not having belly buttons, that they're not necessarily humans, even though they look identical to humans. They're aliens. But we're not here to talk about Clark Kent. We're here to talk about Le Petit Voyage. What'd you call him?
the Small Journey.
Oh, you were keeping up your Cajun. Au contraire, mon frère.
That's what Joe's biography is going to be called when he's dead. The Small Journey.
It's only about my penis.
Yeah. Le Bête Noire.
So it has like the night creature or something like that? Noir
ugly...
means night, I think.
Yeah, night or black.
Or more likely black. Black is night. Yeah. The ugly black.
I'm
glad they had it in French. It sounds a lot more appealing. He's this creature. He stands 6 foot tall. He stinks. He's got yellow eyes. And he's in France. I mean,
and he's really, really strong. He's got these big feet. Everyone's scared of him at night. Like,
also known as Jacques Coffee. Terrifying.
So the Honey Island Swamp Monster, a lot of real similarities to Bigfoot, which we all know is all over the place. He's an interdimensional
Of course,
being.
I can see the comparison to be drawn.
That
adds more to Bigfoot being less of a mythical, like singular beast, and more of like a species that is all over kind of thing.
Yeah,
the Squatches.
The first sighting was 1963 by retired air traffic controller Harlan Ford.
Okay.
Now,
and is Honey Island? Do we know? Is that like just an island in a lake or something like that, or is it like off It's not off like the Gulf Coast.
It's a swamp. It's the Honey Island swamp.
So
I don't
it has
know.
to be like
there
in
must
like
be an
a
island
bayou,
in the swamp. Yeah,
some kind of bayou situation.
A bayou in Saint Tammany Parish, Louisiana.
Yeah. God damn it! Update that shit.
Yeah. Don't you dare get rid of Hitler Ave, Ohio.
No. You keep that. But it reminds me of like England when they have like we're von Chestershire Parish, von Village of von Piegelkogen. Yep. You're like, can you update that at all? You're a village in a parish, but called von Heistershire. Nothing there.
Yeah, just be the Shire. That's good enough.
It comes from the time where they had to try to figure out how many people lived in a 10-mile radius based on how many beds there were. It's like, can we do better than that? Yeah. Everyone has a fucking tax number now. But okay, we're a part of, part of the Gloucestershire von Hitstenshire parish. That's fine.
I'm sorry, are you trying to say Sir Ulrich von Liechtenstein? Because he would be from Liechtenstein, the country.
Trust me, if I was going to say that, I would have said it. He's one of my favorite people of all time. That fictional character. He's friends awesome. With the actual character Geoffrey Chaucer, who really did exist.
Yes, and friends with the guy that floats in Avengers. I just ruined that entire thing. I not remembering the character's name. Vision.
Oh,
Vision is in that. Yeah.
He is Chaucer.
God damn it, you're right. I was thinking Alan
Tudyk. You see the pirate. He's friends with Steve the pirate.
He's friends with the rooster in Moana.
Yes, and King in Game of Thrones before he dies by a unfortunate boring accident.
We're really good at doing this. Let's talk about swamp monsters, though.
Swamp Thing. Well, are you quite finished with Le Petit?
No, I want to finish my story here.
Okay, go continue. I thought when you said we're good with this, I thought you wanted me to think of something, but yeah, go ahead.
So it was first sighted in 1963 by the retired air traffic controller, who in his retirement took up wildlife photography. And it wasn't until he died in 1980, going through his belongings, someone developed some film and was like, "Hey, what's this thing?"
Wait, so he didn't even come up with it? This is such bullshit. Someone else is like, he saw this. Like, he's dead. You can't say he saw it.
What did that 20-year-old film show?
Yeah, I think it showed.
But just like every other Bigfoot, it's totally real, totally exists. But this one's in the swamp.
Yeah.
Swamp monster.
Swamp monster. I wonder how you say monster in French. I bet it's like monster.
Epstein.
That's a universal language for monster. Joffrey Epstein.
Joffrey.
So there you go. Are you done? Sorry,
I'm cutting you off. That's the end of the swamp monster.
Well, I'm so glad. We didn't go over this. We never go over it ahead of time. We just kind of set our own order. But wouldn't you know, the second one on my list is something called the skunk ape. And you could almost double up what Dom just said for what it is. It's from Florida, so just slightly to the east, but similar thing. Swamp dwelling, cousin of Bigfoot, it seems. This creature is reported to inhabit the swamps of southeast United States, approximately 7 feet tall, very similar build, reddish-brown hair. Not the grayish hair, but this could be a regional thing where they have different hair colors. Bigfoot, dark brown, skunk ape, red, the honey monster of the swamp deep. He's got gray hair. No eye description.
No. Well, he's older.
It does seem, if these were all real, which we're not confirming or denying at this point, it does seem like it's the kind of thing you'd see like in splitting evolution, like different kinds of finches. Like, yes, they're all from the same original species, but now there's different swamp versions, and there's northeast versions, and perhaps even a Yeti type version in the large mountains. But these are how these things adapt if they did exist. So beyond that, it stinks like hell, which I think you mentioned about the other one. It's supposed to stink. Yep. That's why it's called the skunk ape. It's not called the skunk ape because it has a white streak down its back. It's because it stinks up to high heaven. I'd say it's almost too good to be true for it to be that close to Bigfoot and all this stuff. But I am glad Florida has their own cryptid aside from bath salt tweakers and Disney adults. So it's good to have a well-rounded cryptid menagerie, if you will.
We're staying French here with the menage a trois.
Sure, menagerie. I don't mind if I do.
Don't mind if you do.
Merci beaucoup. But yeah, I mean, nothing more to say than that. Basically, it's the same. I mean, this could be either the exact same cryptid and just took a vacation, or it's like there's a whole hive of these things down there swamping around. Which I gotta guess, swamps are really well built for like reptiles, amphibians with their like skin type and their ability to like live in the water. But like to be a hairy mammal and live in a swamp, it's got to be a fucking nightmare. There's a reason why mammals don't usually live in swamps. Like, very rarely do mammals dwell in swamps because it just doesn't really suit our lifestyle of arid mammals usually like dry, warm climates. I mean, not desert dry, but like we like to not have swamp ass and fungus
all
growing on us
yeah.
all the time, and we like to have it be warm. And swamps, although they are usually very humid and muggy, dwelling in the water, especially during the colder seasons, is not what humans like.
Ugh, burr.
Burr, burr, burr. So there you go. That's the skunk ape. That's my next one. You want to do one? Use the next one, and we'll take our first break here, so we
sure. Well, let's
get our swamp ass.
Let's stick to United States of A.
Stick to 3 in a row.
Haley Welch, come on our podcast.
It can never be on purpose, but if it shows up, it shows up.
Dude, that would be the score of the century to get her on a podcast.
I think she's pretty busy right now. Everyone
wants we would get canceled so fast if that many people.
I think the score of the century would be meeting her at a bar late at night, not get her on the podcast.
Oh no, the score of the century would be Dylan showing up.
How dare you say that about our friend who's been Jeep
Dylan,
creeped?
we love you. We hope the creeper didn't get you.
If you come up here right now, Dylan, I will hawk Tua all over that car you bought.
Allegedly. Let's stick with the American swamp creatures here for 3 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, South Africa, it's kind of like
this is the third.
Oh, right.
You'll notice. You'll notice when you edit it that I'm right and you're wrong.
I just don't want to upset Groot slang. I am the most afraid of Groot slang out of all the ones we mentioned so far. I mean, I don't want to be swallowed alive with an elephant tusks.
Well, Groot slang also is definitely the most terrifying one by far.
And he makes my heart sing. And that's definitely going to be the song. Groot slang. Down, down, down.
So I'm here today to talk to you.
That's why you're here today. Oh, I'm so glad we finally get to the point.
The Lizard Man of Scape or Swamp. You know it's American because it has a stupidly long name.
The Lizard Man, huh?
Also known as
he a member of the United States government? Because I'm starting to believe it more and more.
Perhaps he is from the South.
Hey now.
It's from Lee County, South Carolina. This might be the most modern first encounter we'll see the entire episode.
First reported 63. Okay.
In the late 1980s.
Okay, so camcorders exist.
And it all started one fateful night when the moon was right, when a sheriff reported a vehicle abandoned with large claw marks, blood, and muddy footprints around it.
Ooh, that's fucking terrifying. And he immediately went up and checked the license plate and started checking. He called it in. We got an abandoned car here. I'm going to write him up for a ticket.
Looks like a mythical creature.
He can give a fuck. There's also some kind of accident. I don't know, this is fault mark. Anyway, this guy is his tags are expired. We need to deal with this immediately.
So obviously they had to find out whose car it was first. And it ended up being a 17-year-old local boy named Christopher Davis. Who was
Chris Davis?
Chris Davis mentioned again on the podcast.
That'll be deep lore. Even I don't know the last time we talked about Chris Davis, but I know. I hope he's doing well. I think he is doing better than me.
So Chris Davis was out delivering pizzas when he got a flat tire and went to go get help. And when
someone stepped in the back of his ankle when he was trying to deliver pizza.
And then the cops thought the car was abandoned because he was gone for so long.
Yeah.
Probably because he was being a G and definitely finishing his job and delivering the pizzas on foot.
Shout out to all the pizza delivery people out there. We love you.
But no, he actually ran away from his car because as he was trying to fix the flat, he saw this creature.
He had a can of Fix-A-Flat on him, luckily.
That was it. Oh, yeah. He saw a green, wet creature, again about 7 feet tall. Had 3 fingers, red eyes, and skin like a lizard.
Luckily, he was able to count the fingers as he ran for his life.
Finger knees. So he ran away from the car, and it attacked his car.
Well, that's
good.
The lizard
a local newspaper picked up the story, and it went into a whirlwind. But it wasn't seen again until 2008, when it was covered on CNN. which is totally
Before
factual.
you keep moving on, though, that's amazing. 2008 is so recent. Literally, Obama's in office. But I like the idea that the lizard thought the car was more of a threat or like a prey than the kid. So like the move is go in the swamp with a car. If anything happens, you just run from leave the car there. And the lizard man will attack the car first, hopefully, instead of you.
Leave the car, run away from the swamp monster.
Yeah.
2008. Yeah, so it was covered on CNN in 2008 about the lizard man.
Fake news.
When blood traces
ironic
were found.
That the lizard man's being covered by CNN. Now it wouldn't be quite the opposite. Be covered in OAN. I hear you out there.
Now, it was another report of a damaged vehicle with claw marks and blood around it. Really? Only the blood traces ended to be from a dog that they believe was killed by a coyote, and that's why the scratches were there. I don't know why they're thinking this 7-foot-tall monster is scratching like a 2-foot-tall coyote.
Yeah, it was like you got your car key. You're like, obviously Lizard Man scenario. Who else besides Lizard Man would write "Fuck you, Jeremy" on the side of my Corolla? It's obviously a Lizard Man.
The last known sighting was in 2017 in South Carolina during the solar eclipse, which was immediately debunked as a funny tweet.
Okay, because there wasn't a solar eclipse in South Carolina that year?
Of course not. No, solar eclipses aren't real, but the Lizard Man is. If you see him, leave your car and run like hell.
Run like hell. Wish you could play that song. Get suited to high heaven.
Run like hell, you'll get there.
That's drive like hell. That's good stuff, Tachi. That's good stuff. That's going to take us to our first commercial break. I can't do better than that. I need a break now. We'll see you on the other side. Don't forget your waders and your off heavy DEET. There's going to be skeeters out here.
Oh, yeah.
Beers.
90% DEET is what you're looking for.
Full DEET.
Full DEET.
Bring me the DEET.
Right. When we come back, we'll give you the DEETs.
Wait a minute.
Okay. Bye, DEET.
I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight, for my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, his trousers dropped right to the floor. With his bottom bare, he ran to the door. I said, "Frankenstein, what's gotten into you?" He said, "My dick is hard and I need to screw."
He did the fuck.
He did the monster fuck.
The monster fuck.
It was a graveyard fuck.
He did the fuck.
That monster sucked and fucked.
He did the fuck.
He did the monster fuck part 5, Halloween Bone. From my laboratory, I had quite the racket. Deep in the castle, the vampires jacked it. The zombies all fucked in the graveyard grass. Wolfman wolfed down Frankenstein's ass.
They did the fuck.
They did the monster fuck.
The monster fuck.
It was a graveyard fuck.
They did the fuck.
Welcome back, my fair Drancer Society. You're back in the swamp with Joe and Dom. Today we're mushing around in the muck and the mire, and we're talking about the creatures that live in the swamps all around the world. The swamp monsters. It's spooky season, and I can't think of anything scarier than drowning slowly with something smothering me full of mud. It's toilet wine, bitch! Dom!
Let's get back into it.
Yeah,
swamp monsters, which are scary things. And speaking of scary things, this guitar back here is signed by Marilyn Manson. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about swamp
swamp monster to a different degree. More of a
I will say I did get this from a legit auction house, but through someone that worked at the auction house. The tag is still on it from the auction house, but other than that, that's all I have saying. It's actually signed by him. It didn't come with a certificate or anything. I'm just like,
that's more than most people have.
I paid the price of basically a brand new guitar, and also it has his signature on it. It went through a super legitimate international auction house, so it should be real. Not that I'll get anything for it.
Because I bought this people 8-bit song.
I bought this thing 2 months before all his allegations came out.
Wow, so
So
actually
2 months
right
later,
time,
I wouldn't have bought
because now it's worth even more money because no one wants them anymore. It gets more rare. It's like Nazi memorabilia. Sure, it's awful to have it, but it's worth way more money than USO stuff. I mean, come on.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, so we're here
Yeah,
to
we
talk
will.
about swamp
Another
monsters.
creature that removed his ribs in order to suck his own penis.
Another creature that has 3 fingers and is really tall and scary.
And he chased your car, not you.
No.
What do we got next?
No, I wasn't trying to get her. I was trying to get her car.
Yeah, I was going for the tailpipe.
He put a banana in the tailpipe?
Bonk.
Anyways, so this next swamp monster is, I will admit, kind of towing the lines between not being a swamp monster, but it's on the list in my book.
It's your podcast. You get to make
because this is not a monster that lives in a swamp or a murky area, although it could be murky. This is one that typically found in a lake, because I'm talking about the Hydra.
Ooh, Hydra making a second appearance on the pod. Let's fucking go.
Let's do this. You know, legendary Hydra, one of the part of Hercules' 12 labors.
Yeah, don't let the Disney cartoon fool you. It's not a big purple thing that like walks around in a mountain. It's a serpent.
Yeah, I know. It's terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah, big, multiple heads, and its whole thing is you cut off one head, 2 more grow back.
Yes.
You can't just go slice and dicing your way through life there.
No,
you know, you're not a moil trying to get through your day. You got to do something else than that.
Flip that.
Best off the cuff joke I've ever had in my entire life.
Good, yeah. No, the Hydra. That's why they call it that in Marvel Comics. After they were stopped using strict Nazi iconography, like, okay, now they're Hydra, and it was Hydra because what you just said. You cut off one head, 2 more grow back. Good shit.
Yep. Terrifying thing. It's the offspring of Typhon and Echidna. I'm not great with Greek stuff. I will put that out there right now.
One is Greek. The other is a mammal who lays eggs. One of the only 4 that live in the world today, including the platypus.
Oh, that's right. I thought that name sounded familiar when I first looked it up. If only I did more research.
I literally was on Wikipedia today looking up what those are called. They're called monotremes. It's so weird that you pulled that up. I didn't look up the Hydra. I looked up echidnas and platypuses.
Platypuses? That's an awesome... I mean, that's a James Bond movie, right?
Yeah, platypus, yeah.
And this legend dates all the way back to 700 BC when it first kind of started. And
I'll tell you right now, this is the oldest story on the list for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
And like a lot of like the legendary myths and stuff, it wasn't just like, oh yeah, no, this legendary creature, all these heads. It starts off slow, and over years and years of oral fixation, it grows and grows and grows. God damn.
This guy.
Oh, fuck, I'm cracking myself up.
Oh, like wow, Kraken now? You're going to use Kraken?
Oh my God.
You're really on a roll.
Fire here. Welcome to Toilet Wine, folks. It only gets better.
It's just like being a gay teenager. It gets better. It gets better.
But so the original tale would start with 9 heads, and through cutting, it would.
You don't know why.
Get bigger and bigger.
Doesn't even matter how hard you try; it keeps growing heads. Keep that in mind when you fight the Hydra.
By the time it got up to around Plato's era, because yes, Plato talked about the Hydra.
Oldest kids play toy.
By his time, it was like, oh no, it has 50 heads.
Wow.
Like, we gotta make it scarier and scarier.
People are not learning. Stop cutting the heads off. You need to do another strategy.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah. Because everyone just keeps dying trying to do it. But, oh boy, you know our home slice Hercules fucked that thing up royally.
He knows better than that.
And everyone knows that the Disney movie Hercules is the most accurate representation of Greek culture ever. And he got it. We
already established it wasn't immediately, but okay. Sorry. The first thing I said is, don't listen to that stupid thing. And you're like, it's the most accurate version. James Woods is Hades.
But yeah, no, he didn't actually tie the heads up. He would actually cut one, and before it could grow, he'd cauterize with a hot torch so it wouldn't be able to grow.
There you go. Yeah, the less kid-friendly version of what.
And it was eventually able to cut off all the heads. All the heads.
Wow. That's what you get by being the son of the Lord of Olympus and some poor little girl who got raped by him. Greek mythology is messy, folks.
That was wild.
I don't love all the stories, but they do make for some fun.
I mean,
stuff.
all the mythologies usually have to do with something of gods mating with other animals and stuff, but that's the most ridiculous. Like, I don't know. He broke the rules. He got with a human.
Yeah, and he usually came to humans and came in humans as an animal. So you do that what you will. But I love the old Greek mythology and shit that like people used to see like when they had a pantheon. They're like, oh yeah, the gods are real and they hate us. I'm like that seems more accurate. The whole idea of God is one person and he loves you very much. It doesn't really jive. It feels better, but if you see the world and you go, okay, so there are deities or one deity that acts in the world. And you live as a human, especially in the time with no running water, no medical care. Like, why would you be like, he loves me? He fucking hates you.
He wants us to have terrible lives.
Yeah, you have Zeus lightning striking your house, Poseidon dumping your ship over, Hades causing war. Ares causing wars, Hades keeping you when you're dead. Also in Greece, there's no heaven and hell. You just go hang out with Hades. It's like, what's up? You're dead now. You live under the earth forever.
Go in the river Styx now.
Yeah. It's like I love the idea that like the gods are like, yeah, no, they exist. They just don't like us at all. Like they're really like petty and they're jealous and they hate humans. Like it's pretty cool.
It's perfect. I love it.
And the whole idea of like the old Greek stuff are like the Titans are like these evil creatures. The Titans were like actually pretty nice, and they're like, yeah, we created the world. We love the world. And then all their kids are like, fuck the world, dude. I fucking hate these guys.
I'm better than them. Get the fuck back down.
I'm going to fly into your bedroom as an eagle and show you who's boss there, lady. Now my kid. It's really creepy shit, but the Greek
I'd love to hear the first person that was like, oh, we were at sea and this hurricane came and the storm ruined us all. It's like, I'm sorry, did you say Poseidon? It's like, I said hurricane. Poseidon. God.
Yeah,
right,
you're pronouncing Poseidon really wrong. Yeah, yeah.
Also, I never thought of it before. I love the idea now. Or it's like the reason people hated philosophers is they weren't just they're deep thinkers, but they were also the most at ease with the world. They're like, the gods fucking hate us.
Yeah, this is
why else would any of this be a thing?
Yeah, I mean, all the evidence that we can gather right now, which is not very much. That's why philosophy started. Like, we have no science. We don't have any instruments to measure things. Let's just think about how much the world sucks. Pretty good. They came up with a lot of good shit. Solipsism, Stoicism, democracy. They had a lot of good ideas sitting there being like, fuck, what do we do about all this? All they had is their brains, which is more than most people have. Okay. I'll tell you.
As a quote from the internet that you and I both love so much is the houses have windows and so do cars. So it's not the glass that makes cars, but it's something entirely different. Greek mythology in a nutshell.
It really is. There's no way to actually measure what the difference is. It's like, I can intuit that those are different things.
I can't tell you what does do it, but I can definitely tell you what doesn't.
Exactly. I mean, they come up with the idea of an atom back then. They had no idea what's going on. Like, honestly, their idea of an atom was different than ours, but like they came up with that back before there was sewer systems. So like, you got to give them some fucking credit for that.
What were you thinking about today? I think, like, we're made up out of things. What? Yeah, like, we're not just like there's things that makes
little
us.
things that, yeah.
Like you can't see them.
Yeah.
Indivisible, under gods.
With liberty and justice for some rich people.
But the Hydra.
Well, no, what are you thinking about today? I was trying to figure out how to figure the area of a triangle. I have the theorem about it. Sorry, I made you wait.
Everyone was like, what's a triangle? It's something with three sides. Whoa.
All right.
3. I just found out about 2 yesterday.
I'm a trisexual. I keep trying to have sex and it's not fucking working. Okay, folks. This is what you tune in for. This is why Toilet Wine exists. And I don't want to hear anything else. And I'm going to drain the swamp right now. Okay, we're going to drain the swamp. Only good bits from now on. Please continue.
Only the good die young. No, that's basically all I have on the Hydra, to be honest. I'm not great with Greek stuff. If you want to know more, go through all of our episodes and find the one that Joe was talking about where they mentioned it before.
Well, it was the one that's coming out this week called Dragons.
Oh, right. Yes. Go one episode back. It's right there.
There it is. Episode 103, Dragons. Not to be confused with Hobo Philosophy. It's the story about the Greek philosophers together. I have to dip into this for once in a while. I really should get more in touch with other philosophy outside of Western culture, but I won't because I'm American and you can't make me. Next on our list, we have another swamp creature. We're going to pivot now from mythos or things that purport to be true. This creature I'm going to talk about is decidedly not a real thing, but it's definitely a swamp creature and maybe one of the most famous ones. And it goes a little something like this. Bam, 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 bam. Dun dun, swamp thing. Down, down, down. You make my dad gay. Bam, 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 bam. He's a swamp thing. And yeah, sure, you know what? You think of Swamp Thing, you think of another swamp creature that I'm going to mention next. That's not what it is, dude. Not to be confused with the Marvel version of Swamp Thing, which I refused to look up because when I typed in the first thing, I was like, no, that is what I'm thinking of. Swamp Thing is from Detective Comics, the comic book company that's now partnered with Warner Brothers to make the worst version of superhero movies, but still make money somehow. And Swamp Thing is an anti-hero. He is a hero in DC Comics, but he's also an anti-hero because much like a character also in DC Comics, like Poison Ivy, he cares more about nature thriving and surviving than he does about man's petty squabbles over resources. Depicted as a swamp monster that resembles an anthropomorphic mound of vegetable matter. That's not my. I took that. That's a great quote though. Vegetable matter, like a bunch of veggies.
All veggies matter.
All veggies matter. And he's seeking to protect nature and humanity from scientific and supernatural threats. But again, more like a poison ivy type, or like, stop dumping oil in our river, I will kill you. And he's a vicious beast because he has the power of nature at his disposal. And he's not immortal, but he cannot be killed by any regular means because he is the swamp itself, and he can regenerate his swampiness. He's most powerful in the swamp because that's where he's surrounded by vegetation. I think the way to beat him is to put him in like a prison cell on like Alcatraz or something where he kind of can't like reach his nature, but he can regrow all his tendrils and everything else. So he's known as the Avatar of the Green, the embodiment of cosmic energies that give life to all plants in the universe. The green is known as that power. I, knowing too much about science, know there's no cosmic energy that makes life exist besides electromagnetic radiation. Am I right? But besides that, there's no green power. But I just love this idea of Swamp Thing. He's just this hideous swamp monster who also is terrifying, and he's killed many people in the comics. He kills so many people. But he's like, hey, I'm doing it to protect the swamp and also nature at large. He cares more about the critters and the trees and the swamp itself. And Earth needs more heroes like him and less heroes like Iron Man. That's only looking out for people and a rich person exploiting the world. So I'm a big Swamp Thing fan. I think he's cool. Dom, what do you think about Swamp Thing? Does he make your heart sing?
Oh, he tells me everything.
Oh yeah.
No, Swamp Thing's cool. And I will admit, I am one of those people that before this research, I was like, yeah, the Swamp, he's that thing, right? No, different.
Right.
He's from the.
He's the next thing we're going to talk about. Yeah, or what I was thinking of.
Yeah, Swamp Man's cool. Swamp Thing.
Yeah, he's not a man anymore. He's more of a thing.
Is he a man or a Muppet?
And there's two different versions of his story because you know how comic books they just redo it 100 times. So
1,000,000 times. Because a comic book company hires a new person. They're like, I'm going to do another thing of that. They're like, fucking go for it.
Yeah, go. That's what we need. We can't just keep doing the same story. We're running out of ideas. It was introduced in the 70s, I believe, but the original version was like a scientist who was creating this biogenerative chemical that, like, basically you could spill it on like dying plants and they would regrow. And people get wind of that. A couple of like mafia bosses come in. They go, "That's gonna be worth a lot of money. You give it to us." And he goes, "No, I won't." So they blow up his lab, and when he's burning alive and dying, he gets the chemical all over him. So he becomes that nature himself,
the Swamp Thing.
And then he goes back and he fucking kills those guys.
Hell yeah!
And his girlfriend comes to see him, and he goes, "No, I'm ugly," and he goes off into the swamp. And I think they meet up again later. But other versions of DC comic, he's never a man. He actually is the manifestation of the green, or the cosmic energy that is
the green.
Yeah, almost like a defender of, like I said, the manifestation of the swamp itself. Humans are not involved. The Swamp Thing is the swamp personified.
Almost like a spirit.
Mm-hmm. Like a swamp spirit that can grab you by your neck and squeeze
spirit
until your
solid
head pops off.
Solid swamp monster, the Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing. There he is.
All right, I'm going to be talking about a comic book character of my own that I had never heard of before I looked into this.
Okay.
This one's a little bit older. First appeared in a DC comic in 1944.
Wow, you beat Swamp Thing by many years.
This is a swamp monster called Solomon Grundy.
Oh, he was born on a Monday?
Named
I know
after,
about this fucking guy.
Named after the
nursery rhyme.
The late 19th century nursery rhyme,
Yeah.
which goes, Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday, christened on a Tuesday, married on a Wednesday, took ill on Thursday, worse on Friday, died on Saturday, buried on Sunday. This is the end of Solomon Grundy.
I love how you had the whole rhyme there. They literally made a character based on that guy.
Yeah. Now Solomon Grundy's not his original name, because just like the Swamp Thing, started out as a regular person who, through circumstances, became this abominable
undead. He's
also
undead,
an
right?
anti-hero.
He can't die.
Yeah, he's basically a zombie.
He's a zombie. Solomon Zombie.
But
because they could have called him Solomon Grundy, and that would have really helped their rhyming scheme.
It pained me to read, because I feel like Monday, Tuesday, it's like, that's fine. When you're like Thursday, Friday, it's like, all right. I had to fight back saying day.
Yeah. I actually love this character. He's so fun. He's kind of a one-note guy, but I love the note he keeps playing. Sorry, go ahead. Talk about it.
So before he was Solomon Grundy in the late 19th century, he was a swamp merchant. I already fucked that up. I got swamp in the brain.
Merchant. One of those swamp merchants. Anybody need a lure? Or maybe a bomber?
Swamp merchant. He's the one that first colonized New Orleans.
Can I interest you with a stack of lily pads, perhaps? They're literally all around us. I know, but I collected them.
These ones are stacked up.
I'm sorry. I'll talk more like Solomon Grundy. Can you buy lily pad now? It's a Tuesday. My christening bills are due. I'm getting married tomorrow. Please help me out. He gets married right after he's christened. He gets married. I mean, life is just terrible. So bad.
Life sucks, then you die. Sorry, he wasn't a swamp merchant. He was a wealthy merchant, originally named Cyrus Gold.
Cyrus the Virus.
And he was murdered, and his body was dumped in, I love this, Slaughter Swamp.
Awesome. That's a good place to dump a body if I ever heard of one. Also, I'm merchant with the last name Gold. We get it. You're Jewish. Let's not do too heavy-handed.
Well, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yeah. Well, if he was Jewish, it would have ended on Saturday the 7th.
So it wasn't until 50 years later. So he's basically a bog body zombie.
Yes, exactly. He's the bog man.
Like 50 years later, he came back to life. Also, not to mention, Slaughter Swamp, I forgot to say, it's just outside of Gotham City.
Oh, is it really? It's not in the bayou. It's just a swamp right outside of Gotham. And also, you can't spell slaughter without laughter. The Joker taught me that, so that's always good to know.
You hear Gotham City, you're getting all excited for your parents to die. This is not about Batman. The Green Lantern fought Solomon Grundy.
Really? I didn't know that. That's a lot of green in that comic.
And it was really
Batman has fought him in years since because he cannot be killed, obviously. But.
Well, I think the main reason why they started off with Green Lantern is because he's Solomon Grundy. He's a swamp. He's wood based basically, and the Green Lantern's ring doesn't affect wood.
Oh, okay. Maybe it doesn't affect life. That would not be a cooler idea, but
it'd be way better. This is 1944. They don't want to talk about life being precious.
Not the time.
So
maybe everyone who died in the Holocaust just fell in a swamp and they're all going to come back. Their last name was Gold too.
Yeah. That's why they took the rings, because they wouldn't work anyways. Oh my God!
The Green Lantern uses a ring too. This is all well worth it.
This is great. The Green Lantern couldn't use his regular thing to do it, so he actually encapsulated him in this
he couldn't use his regular thing to do it. This guy knows comic books. Green Lantern couldn't do his regular thing to do it, so it had to be an alternative way.
So he basically imprisoned him in green slime that he couldn't escape from.
And the walls started oozing green slime.
And he was just kind of stuck there. Green Lantern was like, my job is done. End the comic book. But wait, there's more.
Oh my god.
Because naturally, they brought him back. And how'd they do that? Well, a criminal scientist, which I don't know where you go to school for that, Baron of York.
No, you go to school to be a scientist, and you get hired by BP, ExxonMobil, Shell. There's plenty of criminal scientists out there. You can make a lot of money doing it.
Yeah. But Lockheed Martin, they're cool. They're fine. Them, Raytheon, all that's worth it.
Yeah. The crime only occurs if you do it at your job. If crime happens overseas, you're no longer a criminal scientist. The idea of a mad scientist, like, ooh, he's so crazy, he invented a super weapon. It's like, yeah, we have scientists do it all the time. They're totally sane.
His name was Albert Einstein.
Albert Einstein. More of a Grundy type figure.
Oh, very, very Grundy. But it's basically this criminal scientist killed Al Bundy's brother.
Oh no! No, he was born on a Bundy.
And that was enough to get
Mary on Tuesday. That's the fucking spin-off. Love and marriage goes together like a lily pad stack house. Hey,
I'm Solomon Grundy. Can I sell you some property? I'm a wealthy merchant, you see.
I'm more of a shoe merchant.
But so Solomon Grundy's brother gets killed, and that's enough for him to break through to the other side of his gelatin mold prison.
That is a good
which, by the way, was all part of the Baron of York's plan, because he injected.
Wait, the Baron of York is involved in this?
He's the one that killed Solomon Grundy's brother.
Oh, I forgot that that's who it was. I thought I was out of Gotham City, not in Europe in the 1600s.
Apparently, it's still Gotham. Or who knows? Who knows how comic book worlds work?
Wow.
But the whole thing he did he injected Solomon Grundy with chloroform, so he became even more like a plant. Oh, chlorophyll.
No means no.
Chlorophyll. I'm sorry.
Oh, chlorophyll. Makes a lot more sense. Solomon Grundy hit puberty on Thursday, chloroform by Friday.
And what did the newly, even stronger Solomon Grundy do? He headed straight for the Justice Society of America.
Wow.
AKA the original Justice League.
He needs justice.
So it ended up being together, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and Hawkman took him down for the first time, for the last time, until they needed to bring him back again when they ran out of ideas.
Well, that's the comic book thing. You can't count that, but yeah, I like that. That's cool because you can't actually kill this one. I'm not mad at because he keeps coming back, but he can't actually die. He is an immortal. I mean, he's not all powerful, but you can't really kill him. All you can do is just seal him away. Which I don't know how they did this time. Probably like a larger green slime box, but that's all you can do with a guy. Just bury him.
Yeah.
Like in the DC comic game Injustice, which is just Mortal Kombat, but except it's all DC guys. One of his attacks, he just pulls out a gravestone and just whacks him on the head. He's just like, this is my gravestone. I'm just a dead guy. It's all my powers are dead guy stuff.
Wow.
A fate I don't hope for anyone though. Solomon Grundy, it is a tough life. A short life and then a wicked long death that never ends. That sounds like a nightmare to me. Are you ready to move on to our next swamp?
I am ready to move on.
All right, so there's Swamp Thing and then there's Swamp Creature. That's what we're talking about. And Creature double feature. It's the creature from the Black Lagoon. We had to talk about him. Often when I heard about the Swamp Thing, that's what I was picturing, the fish kind of man with the webbed hands and the crazy fish head. Creature from the Black Lagoon is a Universal film from back in the days where they were running shit. I imagine if it was like a horror franchise was as big as Marvel. At the time, it was the biggest thing. They tried to bring it back with Tom Cruise a couple years ago. Didn't work. Didn't work at all.
Oh, my.
I like the idea of it.
But did he do his own stunts?
Yeah, the creature from Black Lagoon certainly did, because he could breathe gill. Well, let's get into it. So, anyways, deep in the Amazon rainforest, a fossil is found with webbed fingers and webbed toes, which is interesting to find a fossil with biological matter in between the fingers. Because, spoiler alert, Frogs, when they're dead, you can't see the webs. But this is more of a 30s style movie. I didn't write down the exact year, so fuck me, right? Anyways, it has webbed fingers and toes, and it seemed to be the missing link between the animals, the land, and the sea. So one of those evolutionary key points where clearly there was all life in the water. Now there's a lot of life on land. What was the intricacy between there? There must be some kind of missing link there. And often, all you doubters out there, it's more than one, and we have a lot of them. And a lot of them are still alive, like the lungfish that still exists today. It can breathe oxygen in the air, it can breathe it in the water, and it exists today. But you still want to believe you're
wild.
Craziness. So the fossil that they found leads them to believe there is more information here about the transition between the sea and the land. So they follow it down a river and down a waterfall into an area that is less trodden than anywhere in the rainforest, an area which you cannot come back from alive. It's called the Black Lagoon. No one has ever escaped there. They don't know why. They just know you don't go there. Now, the reason why is because of the creature from the Black Lagoon, which is the Gill Man. You're stalked by the Gill Man. Now,
so the Gill Man cometh.
Gill Man should be the name of the movie because that is the name of the character, Gill Man. But Stephen Gilman, not as scary as the creature from the Black Lagoon. Especially at the time, if they just called it the creature from the lagoon, wouldn't have been as scary in those Jim Crow era laws. The lagoon has to be Black Lagoon. And as you can imagine, the creature kills a lot of people, but not our main heroine, the beautiful actress who stars in the movie. She is saved by three strapping men who actually get her out of the Black Lagoon. And the creature, the Gill Man, slinks back into the lagoon, which he is from. Again, not as much of a swamp, but it is a jungle covered in water, and it's the creature. You picture it's a similar kind of aesthetic. I thought he had to be mentioned, whether or not he is a technical swamp creature or not. I mean, even things like swamps and jungles, they're all just names humans give to types of, environments that we will call a swamp. I don't know if it's technically a swamp in the Amazon rainforest, but I'm sure there is wetlands all over it.
It's quite swampy.
It's definitely wet and green, which is Swamp Thing territory, baby. And that's how we do it.
Well, hell, yeah.
So, also, I saw a picture of the Swamp Thing actor with the mask off him. Good luck. The guy's a hunk. Absolute hunk. I can't believe they covered him up with that mask the whole time. He had to sit in the water.
So, you're saying he's the opposite of the guy that played Boba Fett in the original trilogy.
Yeah. Better with the mask off. But also, I found out by researching Black Lagoon, the guy who developed and designed the Swamp Thing costume actually designed prosthetic limbs during World War II. So he took his knowledge of designing prosthetics in the war and then took it and said, I can take this somewhere else, to Hollywood, baby. The feature made $1.3 million domestically, and that's 1940s money. So
he's rich. He's the richest swamp monster. Although, I don't know, Solomon Grundy was a wealthy merchant. He might have some funds laying around.
See if he can't find those. But no, $1.3 million is a ton of money in the 1940s. But especially in the 1940s, lawyers weren't allowed to be part of the process of making movies. So there's probably three guys who made all the money. The guy who started it made $10 an hour, and the guy who developed it made $50 to do the costume or something like that. So, no.
Yep. Yeah, super high chance. So I have one more. I got one quick last comic book swamp monster.
Okay, yeah. Let's do one more.
Called the Glob, which was
the Blob.
No. See, the Blob is different than the Glob because the Glob had to fight the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk.
Whoa, that would be a match of the ages. I want to see Grundy v Hulk, but Grundy's a part of the universe, so it can't happen. But the Glob is part of Marvel Universe. So.
Yeah, that's the next Marvel DC mashup instead of Batman vs Superman. That's both DC. Never mind. The first ever Marvel DC mashup is going to be the Hulk
versus Grundy.
No, it's going to be the Glob versus Grundy.
Glob v Grundy for swamp supremacy. Let's hear what the
Grund Power Hour. So he was originally another man who became a monster.
Oh my Glob, so predictable.
Joe Timms was a petty criminal who was arrested, and he escaped.
Why do you have to talk shit on him? He's going to become a Glob. He's petty.
He escaped prison, and while trying to meet up with his wife, saw her drown in a swamp after the Hulk threw nuclear waste into the swamp and that prevented her from swimming out. So he dives in to try to get her, and he turns into the Glob.
So he actually was wronged by the Hulk, so he's justified in his vengeance.
But he's a criminal. He escaped prison.
A petty criminal? What, did he steal a fucking watch?
It's just big, slimy seaweed monster.
Cool.
Super strong. Not very smart. He's a fucking criminal. Everyone knows that. But his story doesn't last too long because he was fighting with the Hulk and he got killed by anti-radiation juice, basically.
Oh,
and
that's lame as hell.
The nuclear stuff went away and there was nothing left. Of course, they brought him back later, but it's such a bad initial thing. I don't even want to go into what happens after that.
That is so dumb because the Hulk, that could be a curious, they did it now, like as modern writing. How does the Hulk beat a big glob of like swamp? Because the Hulk can't punch you to death. That's his whole move is I punch you until you die.
Yeah.
I throw you until you die. But like, what interesting matchup between like a stupid glob and the Hulk, who's less smart than Bruce Banner. How does the Hulk deal with this? And what he had, the military came in and dropped off anti-radiation, which is not a thing at all. And obviously, we had that. But
they dumped a bunch of iodine on him and was like, that'll slow it down.
That was the Hulk like seals up in like a lead capsule. There could have been so many cool ways to take that, but they decide not to.
Yeah, they boofed it.
Old comic book writing. Every comic book now owes everything to those old writers, but like those old writers were a bunch of old fucking idiots who couldn't think of anything. They're just like, we don't care about character development. Like, anti-shark repellent spray.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Whatever. That's
all
really
right.
Cool,
So
though. I'm glad you brought that up. I never heard of the Glob.
The Glob. Well, I think there's a pretty good reason why he's not super well known. And
when they originally do a Hulk movie again, they finally do a Hulk standalone with Ruffalo.
Versus the Glob.
Hulk versus Glob.
And still, S.H.I.E.L.D. swoops in and goes, anti-radiation.
Yeah, he still gets help.
Yeah, Iron Man will be in that one too somehow.
Yeah. He'll be like, what do you do all that nuclear waste? We could utilize that to make it into bombs. Iron Man's such a capitalist pig.
What a piece of shit. Yeah, he's
cool though, I'll give him that.
He's a criminal scientist.
Yeah, he's a criminal billionaire. Also, they have to update it now. Iron Man, I think, is technically a trillionaire because he has more money than he needs to now. Like, he was a billionaire in, like, the fucking 40s when they made him or whatever. Like, he needs to be a trillionaire now. We're getting there, folks. We're going to see our first trillionaire in your lifetime.
Fantastic.
And your kids will never see their whole lifetime because the world will be enclosed in ash and sand as it drains its resources.
And the world oozes green slime. Oh, wait, it always does that.
Oh, wait, it always does. All right, folks. We'll see you on the next time. The Break the Toilet Wine Lax segment. Get out of the swamp,
Bigfoot gave the headless horseman head. Swamp Thing jerked off in the castle moat. While Frankenstein gagged from the jizz in his throat. The fucking was wet. There was spooge like mad. Igor decided to fuck his own dad. The mummy let out a horny moan when Medusa's bare tits turned his dick to stone.
They did the fuck.
God. They did the monster fuck.
And
The monster
I don't get it. Like, why even talk about swamp monsters at all? Oh, it's still. Oh, you hit record again. Welcome back to Toilet Wine. We're talking about swamp monsters tonight on the spookiest of seasons. Because it's the Halloween season, baby. Halloween is great. I can't go to any Halloween parties this year, so no one else can either. But we're not here to talk about my sad life.
You were at a Halloween party. That counts as a Halloween party last weekend. How does that not count?
It was I was not expecting it to be a Halloween party either, but it was a good one. It was solid. Yeah. But we're not here to talk about Halloween parties. We're here to talk about swamp monsters.
Spooky,
We've already mentioned a bunch of mythical or could be real ones. We talk about comic books. Maybe we're doing more of the same. Maybe we're doing different. Who's to tell? But Joe, why don't you go first and see what we're going to talk about now?
I will play up mine, which is this really hangs on European folklore and all this idea of like swampy, scary stuff, and it always reminds me of like fairy tales being more of a method to entertain you, but more to scare children into not doing things. A lot of fairy tales have been known to do. Yeah, they've been nerfed in recent decades by, companies like Disney and stuff like that. They're like, oh, it's not actually like that.
That's right,
the
people.
original stories are
Cinderella's stepsisters, one of them cuts their toes off to try to fit into the slipper. You don't see that in a Disney movie now, do you?
Yeah, and all the child abuse they don't really show. It's just kind of
What?
mean.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. So to bring that together, I had to bring up at least one of these archetypes that is definitely swamp related, and that's the idea of the swamp hag. The particular one I want to talk about is not one, but three, and three parts of one thing, which is throughout Eastern European mythology, and that
The
is
Holy Trinity.
the Father, the Son, and the Holy Witch of them all. No, it's the Crones of Crookback Bog, as told by the Witcher series, and as I know it from the video game The Witcher: The Wild Hunt. So it's three witches that live in a cabin in the swamps of Velen, and it is a horrifying setup as you're arriving at the thing. It's very Hansel and Gretel related. You're seeing a lot of little toys and candies to get there, and it turns out that everyone in the surrounding villages has lost at least one of their kids, and they ran to the swamp. Again, very fairy tale-esque. Like, there's no actual witch in the swamp, as far as I know in real life, but you should have your kids running into the swamp because more likely they're going to be in a Solomon Grundy pretty soon. You can't have your kids dying out there for any good reason. So, these Crones of Crookback Bog are, you're thinking they're going to be like these three like little witches in the woods, because they said there's three of them. You end up there, you follow the trail of candies, and you come upon a little village, and there's a bunch of kids there and one old lady, and you're like, oh, this must be the crone. She's the fucking scary lady. Nope, she's a totally regular lady who's also been put under a spell there to watch all the kids. And then they arrive, these three horrific beasts of a lady. This is straight up Witcher style, like, horror. They all look disgusting and gross. We'll put the picture up now, but they all look like different versions of a witch. One of them is completely gigantic, just fat as hell. Her folds are pushing out, her organs are spilling out, and her entire face is covered with a bee basket. The other one is a classic like witch with the bony hands and a long nose, and one of her eyes is an active wasp hive. So like there's bugs crawling in and out of it.
What, is she horrific. My basement?
Yeah, they all barely have faces, but basically all three of these witches are not just like spooky little witches, because your character has been killing monsters before. He's got a sword, he's badass. But these are the scariest things you're going to encounter because they don't have strength. They have magic and the idea of being spellbound. You can't understand what's going on. They can confuse
the most
you,
dangerous thing of it all, free thinkers. They have ideas, people.
Free thinkers are dangerous. But yeah, it turns out they're actually the daughters of this forest spirit, which is basically a god. So they have like the power of a god, but they're these three creepy old witches that are all gross. But they actually end up being one of the most fearsome enemies your character Geralt ever fights. And so the whole entire battle isn't just, can I hit them hard enough with my sword? It's, can I even understand what's going on here between the unseen horrors I'm experiencing? And of course, they want the classic thing. They want to eat your kids. They want your blood, all that good stuff. But like, I like the idea of not only of these bog hags, or these swamp hags, which is a definite archetype in mythology. It's also like they're not just like a little witch. Like they are the spirit of the forest, the spirit of the swamp itself, much like the swamp thing. They are the swamp personified. You come here, you die, we eat your kids. That's the whole act in it. And it's one of the more terrifying parts of the game and one of the most disgusting parts of the game because, of course, they do the classic thing of trying to twist your own words against you. And as they're depicted in artwork and when you first see them, they're three super hot ladies that are all sisters being like, hey, big guy, come on in the bog. Hello, aren't you a sexy thing? And then they you see the true form, which is one of the most vile depictions of witches.
So they're almost like swamp hydras.
Yeah, or swamp
sirens. Not hydra. Sirens.
Swamp sirens. Yeah, I hear you. Another great thing. But yeah, very much like that. And yeah, it's cool as hell. And then there's also enemies in the game that are called swamp hags. They're basically like, they're not people. They're like look like witches with like big pot bellies, and they can turn to mist. It's very scary. Again, it's more of the personification of what the swamp is and how gross it is, and how gross women are when they lie to you. And that's that.
What's my name?
What's your favorite color? There it is, the Crones of Crookback Bog.
That's solid. I should play The Witcher.
You will not make it far in because it has a steep learning curve and then it gets really good, but you won't make past the first hour.
Yep. Nope, absolutely not.
That's why, even though you have it in your house right now, you have my copy of it in your house. You can play it. It's one of the best games ever made, and you will not get past it.
We'll
because
see
even I, who am a stickler for that kind of thing, it took me a week to get to play the game. I was like, why people like this so much? It's so hard and weird. And then once you hit a stride, it's like I'd say the first 2 to 3% of the game is like really hard to get into, and then the last 97% is like one of the most exciting, fun experiences ever. And it's not like a lot of fantasy games where you're like, oh, I'm King Arthur, Magical Merlin. It's all like the world is shit and you live it. It's like the Fallout of fantasy. Like the whole world's fucked and you just gotta make your way through it. And everyone's against you and nothing is good. And it's such a fun way. All the side quests are like, my husband got killed by a giant monster. Can you go save him? He got kidnapped or whatever. And you get there and the monster's like eating the husband and the husband's like screaming. He's like, what's up? And you're like, hey, you damn monster, get out of here. He's like, oh, what real quick? Just gotta finish up eating the husband. Okay, he's dead. He's like, what's that? Oh, this is his baby. Like, oh, no, don't kill the baby. Okay, now time for the hero to get there. And then just as the hero comes in, the monster's like, I ate the baby too. Like, they eat nothing.
Brutal.
Nothing good happens. The lady who's in the bog, who they're trapped, is the abused wife of the guy who you had to go save her. He's like, my wife's gone missing. Turns out he's a drunk asshole. He almost beat his wife to death, and she ran out to the bog to be saved. It is a dark world.
Hell yeah.
The Witcher world is fun.
Dark world.
Very post-USSR Eastern European mentality. Like, the world is shit, drink vodka about it. There's monsters around every corner.
Henry Cavill will play me later.
That show sucks. Play the game.
It looks bad. Solid. All right, so my next swamp monster. This is my favorite one that I found during the research because
hell yeah.
Before I read about this, I thought this was a move in Pokemon that would burn the opponent. I'm talking about Will-O-Wisp.
Oh, I didn't know it was a Pokemon move. I know it from playing games like Fable.
It's one of those Pokemon moves where like people who just try to beat the game and not spend forever playing it like I do. I just try to beat the game. You don't save any of the attacks that are like, this will do damage in 2 turns. Like, no. Give me Giga Drain. Give me just fuck the people up. Give me fire.
Give me that what I desire.
Yeah. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna keep Tail Whip on my fucking Charizard? No, are you kidding? He's 5'9", 200 pounds. I'm not doing that.
You just want to slink in again his stats. I saw a meme today. It's Charizard, Charmeleon, and Charmander, and it's Charizard is me full of microplastics, my dad full of asbestos, my grandfather full of lead. I quite like that.
Nice, love that. But the Will-O-Wisp, or as it's called in Latin, I'm going to do my best here, Ignis Fatuus, which translates to foolish flame.
Ooh. I've also heard it called Will-O-the-Wisp, which is probably the longer version of that.
Yes, yeah. But no, I'm not saying it that way.
No,
I don't feel like it.
You shouldn't.
It's an atmospheric, like kind of like a ghost light. It doesn't it doesn't look like a human or anything. It looks like a monster. It's just like an essence that you see.
It doesn't have a corporeal form. You can't grab it or stab it.
Yes, yeah. And you see it mostly over bogs, swamps, marshes. Real swamp monster shit.
Excuse me.
So this legend originated in the UK. Honestly, I didn't find the time for when it originated because who the fuck cares?
But it's probably very ancient. It's like the idea of the
it's
swamp,
definitely old.
Of the swamp and the creepiness of it all.
But it's not just in the UK. There's also stories of it in Germany and Thailand, and even some in southern U.S. Northern U.S. and all the way up in Saskatchewan, up in the old Great White North.
It seems to be like a phenomenon of being in the swamp that's a universal thing.
Yeah, almost. But the original legend of the Will-O-Wisp is there's a few different ways. And again, the original tale was super simple, and it grows and grows and grows to it being the main origin, not the actual origin, was a blacksmith named don't hit me here, named Will Smith. A blacksmith named Will Smith.
At least it wasn't called Will-Wisp.
Will-O-Wisp. You can't even have a lisp and fuck up Smith that bad. But so he was a blacksmith that when he died and got to the pearly gates.
Which was rare in England at the time.
Yeah. St. Peter gave him a second chance at life.
Really?
But shocker, he fucked that one up too. So he was banished, you could say, to lead a terrible life in the swamp, never dying. And the devil went up to him and provided him with a single burning piece of coal that would never go out to light his way through the swamp. And he was so mad that he's like, this is my fucking life now. I fucked up twice. He would use the light to lure tired travelers into the swamp thinking they were finding another person or a fire.
Oh, wow.
And they would end up dying in the swamp.
Devious.
The will-o-wisp.
That is
creepy. There's also a great Irish story of it about a ne'er-do-well named Drunk Jack.
Let's not prejudge him.
And basically, as the story goes, the devil came to collect his soul at the end of his time.
He was in a bind and he was way behind. I know.
He was willing to make a deal, and so he told the devil, he's like, you know what? Because the thing about the devil, super evil but easily tricked.
Right, the trickster himself, the trick thyself.
He convinced the devil, why don't you turn into a coin, so I can use you, so I can pay for my very last drink, and then I'll gladly go with you. And the devil said, okay. Turned into a coin. Drunk Jack took the coin, put it in his pocket. He also had a crucifix in his pocket. So the devil couldn't escape from his form.
And the other hand was making a peace sign. It's more of a Leonard Forsett situation. Wow.
Now, finally, he was way behind. He was able to make a deal. He said, you know what, Jack?
Don't forget, folks, the devil is on a tight schedule.
Take me out of here. Give me back to my original form. I'll let you live for 10 more years. Jack said, all right. Took him out of his pocket.
Really? I'd be like, I already have you. You have no negotiating power here. How about 100?
10 years later, the devil comes back. He says, hey, it's been 10 years. Let's go.
He's like, hey, what's up, coin? What's up, penny?
Wouldn't you know it? Drunk Jack tricks the devil again to climb up a tree. Then he carves a crucifix into the trunk of the tree, so now the devil's stuck up in the tree.
You think the devil maybe easily tricked, but not that powerful. You just make a plus sign anywhere and he's fucked. Or is he also carving Jesus' figure in it? Because the crucifix has Jesus on it. So it's like a stick figure.
That is true, yeah. It's not just a cross. It's got Jesus on there.
Here is JNRJ in the top. Good to go.
So finally he convinces Jack to let him down and says, you know what, fine.
He's like, come on, Jack, you've been letting everyone down your whole life. You can't let me down one time.
Let's do it one more time, just for the memories. Thanks for the memories, even though they weren't that great.
There we go. He did the same joke.
He said, let me down. Fine. I won't take you into hell. You can die peacefully. Go up to heaven. Jack said, great. He dies, go up to heaven. And
God's like, you know why we don't want him, right?
Exactly. God's like, you cannot be up here.
Yeah.
You got to go. And he's like, well, the devil said I couldn't go down there. And he says, all right, well, you're going to go down and ask him for a spot in hell. That's
awesome. Burger King said I'm allowed to be hired here. This is McDonald's. They have no authority here.
So he goes down to the devil and is like, sup, bro? Remember me? Want to go get a drink?
He's like, hey, mister, you lied to me. What the fuck is that about? Kind of my thing.
And he won't let him into hell. So he's forced to walk through this. It's not even purgatory. It's called a twilight zone that resembles a swamp. And again...
it's you. Your legs are turned into spiders.
And again, the devil gives him one burning piece of coal that
and there he
he's
goes.
Salty and uses it to lure people in. But turns out will-o-wisp becomes another phrase that we know and love today. Because sometimes he would take his burning coal and put it in a hollowed-out turnip, also known as a jack-o'-lantern.
Oh, spooky! I love it.
And that's one of the origins of why jack-o'-lanterns are what they are, because Drunk Jack put his burning coal in a turnip.
In his own lantern.
In his own lantern.
My fucking God. End the podcast right now. That's how you do it, folks. That's how you do it, and it's very creepy, but an interesting tale as well. But yeah, the idea of luring weary travelers into the swamp to their own demise, but much like the crones of Crookback Bog, like a siren song to be like, hey, there's safety, there's comfort here. But no,
and there are countless stories across
versions of it.
Most of Europe and Asia and Oceania, but I think the Irish one's the best one.
That is
I'm
the best
sticking
one.
with that.
I think there's something to that too, where I don't think that there actually is will-o-wisps all over the world as a magical,
oh yeah. Actually, I'm glad you said that. There was one more thing I wanted to say about that, but
Sure.
it was too much to write down.
Yeah.
So I have to read it off this. So actually, scientists are able to provide actual facts on why people see these lights. People do see them.
Even before you said that, I was like, I bet there is something to it where people are seeing this almost like a mirage in the desert. Like there is a universality, and like you do perceive this.
Yeah.
So please tell me what
it is. It is legitimately like a bioluminescence of it's an oxidation of phosphine, diphosphane, and methane mixing together in the way that they produce light.
Wow, so it is almost like a lantern, but
which is basically anyone who knows even just a little bit about science, hopefully, it's just like decomposing matter in a swamp.
Yeah, it smells like
gases, and when they mix, they light up.
That's awesome. And I love a good folklore explanation, which if you true believers out there, you can still believe will-o-wisps exist, but I think it's much more fascinating to know the tale, appreciate it for what it is, and then also say this is why people thought that, because it actually does occur. It just isn't involved with the God and the devil making shitty deals with each other, which also that story especially is like the God and the devil are not all powerful at all. They're just two landlords being like, you can't live here, buddy. Go back to the streets.
go to my best friend's house.
Yeah, these are the rules we have. We're all powerful.
You know the rules, and so do I.
And so do I. That's a good one. Will-o-wisp. Thank you for bringing that one up.
Love the will-o-wisp. So you got another one over there, Big Shoots?
I do. I have one last one, which I'm now realizing I don't think you have this on your list, but if you do, you do. And it's literally the second thing I thought of besides we came up with the idea, we being you and me agreeing with it. Let's not think I came up with it. So this one's about another monster that lives in a swamp. And it is a male monster as far as I know. But he's no witch, he is no spirit, and he is definitely no great ape in the North Americas. He has a Scottish accent, and he wants you to get out of my swamp. I'm talking about Shrek, baby. Shrek, the ogre who lives in the swamp.
All right. You know what?
I cannot believe.
I
thought it would be the first thing you said.
I didn't think of this. I'm
it's
embarrassed.
Shrek. It's Shrek. I was like, I
forgot my homeboy.
You're number one guy, Shrek. So I'm talking about Shrek people. One more to say about him. He's an ogre, lives in a swamp. It is his life, and I think that part of the reason he lives in the swamp, obviously he's comfortable in the swamp, but it's also because it keeps people away. People don't like him. He's ugly. He's a monster. But you realize, as the story goes on, he's no monster. He just wants to be his own guy. He learns to soften up his heart and meet a princess and hook up his friend with a nice fat ass dragon.
Which you'll see in the episode before this.
You guys know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I mean, I could not mention the number one homeboy. He's definitely the swamp monster of the 21st century. We're talking about Shrek himself. So he's got layers, baby. That's Shrek. I don't know what more to say about him. You guys love him. You know him.
Yeah,
I can't say more.
If you don't know who Shrek is, just save yourself this entire podcast
until marriage
and go watch it. Actually, let's go watch Shrek and we'll be right back.
One Shrek. Shrek is love. Shrek is life.
Shrek is life. So I also have one last quick thing. Also known from not quite film, but television.
To say that. Well, not quite film. He wasn't pressed on the magnesium sulfate and on the silver screen. Hello now, it's Shrek 3.
And just a little bit of luminol. I'm here to talk about all you British sitcom fans, comedy show fans.
Oh,
this little man. Or is he a man?
He's definitely a Swamp Thing, I'll tell you that.
From the show that I can't believe I haven't watched it yet, considering I've known about this character for a couple months now. A little show called The Mighty Boosh. Anyone who watches The Great British baking show, you know Noel from that? He's actually from The Mighty Boosh.
Yeah.
And he portrays
I think that
this...
most Americans don't, only like some like nerdy like goth kids I knew in high school even knew what the Mighty Boosh was, but very prominent show in England.
Fantastic.
Sorry,
he's also in the IT crowd. He's awesome. I'm talking about this little swamp monster called Old Greg.
It's all Greg.
I'm Old Greg. Now, Old Greg is a man fish. Looks mostly like a man. He's got seaweed hair, and he lives in an underwater cave underneath Black Lake. You don't want to go fishing on Black Lake during a full moon because there's things out there, man. Wouldn't recommend it.
Stuff.
And on one fateful night,
here's I'll say one
fishing.
Greg. And on one Greg,
he's fishing, thinks he hooked something. All of a sudden, this scary mist fog comes up, and boom, Old Greg is in his boat.
There he is.
And he says, "I wasn't fishing." He goes, "Oh yeah, then what's this lure in my hair?" Because let me ask you something. You ever drink Bailey's out of a boot? You want to go to the club, people wee on you? This is Old Greg. He's got a mangina, by the way, and it spews light, a blinding light.
There's a lot going
on.
He's
Old Greg.
But it is terrifying and alluring at the same time.
He owns funk. He marries this man after they play their love games. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go watch.
We're not going to convince you today. Just watch Old Greg.
Old Greg is great. He is the funkiest swamp monster on this thing, on this podcast by far.
And easily the one which I would most want to hang out with. It goes Old Greg, then Shrek, and then everybody else. You have to put a gun to my head if I had to pick that because they're all awful. Maybe Swamp Thing. He seems like he's all right. He's just kind of
definitely not the glob. Petty criminal. I don't want to hang out with petty criminals.
No, I don't want to hang out with. Let's see what else we got here. Root Slag.
You don't hang out with Al Bundy's brother.
Actually, I changed my mind. Solomon Grundy, then Old Greg, then Shrek. That's my top three. Good hangs.
Solid swamp monster that we've talked a lot of swamp monsters tonight. That's for darn sure.
And my favorite swamp
monster.
Swamp it
up real good.
Dom.
Aw, bitch.
What's up, Swampy? Ready to rock this thing, rock it inside out?
Let's rack it up, rack it in. Let me begin. So we hope you enjoyed hearing us talk about swamp monsters. If you have one that we didn't mention, make your own damn podcast.
It was a graveyard fuck.
He did the fuck.
It's Old Greg.
It's Old Greg, the funkiest little swamp man around. I don't know about you, Joe. I had a pretty darn good time talking about all these fucking swamp monsters.
So did I. What a great idea there, Cha-Cha. I loved it. We had to have a spooky episode this year, and although I hope that Dylan isn't in the belly of the Jeeper Creeper, I am glad we still got to do a Halloween episode because it's a podcast basement tradition.
'Tis the season. You got to get it done. We got it done. That's all that really matters.
You got to give.
You got to give. CalicoCutJeans.com. We'll be right here. But this is toilet wine. We can't just end it.
No.
We got to do a toast. Because if you're not drinking toilet wine, what are you even doing with your life?
Pour yourself up some swamp juice and get ready to imbibe, you son of a
bitch. So let's lift up our glasses of swamp juice filled with chloroform. And
I'm becoming Grundy.
Honestly, I'm toasting to the origin of jack-o'-lanterns. What a great story. Really ties the whole Halloween theme together. Really ties the room together, man. And to that,
get off my ass, Piggy! I've been working all day. Wow, that's
dead air.
That is
nice and swampy
juice there.
And one more thing I want to say is, speaking of swamps, if you have never listened to Kalma's 2000 album Swamp Lord, highly recommend it. Or their next album, They Return, which has the even better, one of the best songs they've ever made, Swamp Hell. So go listen to that, and thanks for drinking our toilet wine. Not yours, ours. Bah, bah.
I'd say it's almost too good to be true for it to be that close to Bigfoot and all this stuff. But I am glad Florida has their own cryptid aside from bath salt tweakers and Disney adults. So it's good to have a well-rounded cryptid menagerie, if you will.
Dude, that would be the score of the century to get her on a podcast.
I think she's pretty busy right now. Everyone
we would get canceled so fast if that many people.
I think the score of the century would be meeting her at a bar late at night, not get her on the podcast.
Oh no, the score of the century would be Dylan showing up.
How dare you say that about our friend who's been Jeep
Dylan, we love you. We hope the creeper didn't get you.
Another creature that removed his ribs in order to put his own penis.
This criminal scientist killed Al Bundy's brother.
Oh no! No, he's born on a Bundy.
And that was enough to get
Mary on Tuesday. That's the fucking spin-off. Love and marriage. All they had is their brains, which is more than most people have.
Okay. I'll tell you.
Well, you will most likely suffocate first, but it's not going to be pleasant the whole time, as its bile and stomach acids envelop your entire being. And the nature of the horrific demise you're headed towards slowly seeps in, much like Groot slaying slowly digests you over the course of 1,000 years.
Yes, you can't just go slice and dicing your way through life. There, you know, you're not a moil trying to get through your day. You got something else than that. Run like hell, you'll get there.
That's drive like hell. That's good stuff, Tachi. That's good stuff. All right.
3. I just found out about 2 yesterday.
I'm a trisexual. I keep trying to have sex and it's not fucking working.
He injected Solomon Grundy with chloroform, so he became even more like a plant. Oh, chlorophyll.
No means no.
Chlorophyll. I'm sorry.
I think I have my AC in.
What was that?
Air conditioner, rolled tape, all up and down it.
No, Tom, you're a mechanic.
You're a mechanic, save my costume.
So yeah, talking about all like the haunted ghost stories and the sounds of the swamps and the story of the jack-o'-lantern or like Hansel and Gretel, it reminded me of this story. It's like semi-famous online. Someone else had to show me it, but it's one post from 4chan from 2012, and it's a guy typing out a haunted tale that evokes this nightmare and this feeling inside of all of us. So I'm going to read this word for word. It's about 2 paragraphs long, but I'm going to read it as it's written because that's the part of it that's interesting.
Hell yeah.
So classic Reddit style. Here's how it goes. So it starts with this. Man and girl go out to drive under moonlight. They stop at a side of road. He turned to his girl and say, "Baby, I love you very much." "What is it, honey?" "Our car is broke down. I think engine is broken." "I'll walk and get some more fuel." "Okay. I'll stay here and look after our stereo. There have been news report of stereos being stolen." "Good idea. Keep the doors locked no matter what. I love you, sweaty." So the guy left to get full of car. After 2 hours, the girls say, "Where is my baby? He was supposed to be back by now." Then the girl hear a scratching sound and a voice say, "Let me in." I think you guys know the story by now, the spooky, scary skeletons. I continue. The girl doesn't want to do it, and then after a while she goes to sleep. The next morning she wakes up and finds her boyfriend still not there. She gets out to check, and man door, hand hook, car door.
We hope you enjoyed hearing us talk about swamp monsters. If you have one that we didn't mention, make your own damn podcast.